This is the Bosch GST 140 jigsaw, which is available in two versions. The BCE has a more traditional top bow grip or D handle, whilst the CE model has the body grip, which is often favoured by professional users who feel that the lower centre of gravity allows better control, particularly for one-handed inverted cuts, as for instance when cutting worktop. The unique feature of these saws is a precision control system for the blade that ensures superbly accurate cutting even at full depth. The previously groundbreaking GST 135 reduced deflection by incorporating blade supporting arms that effectively shorten the blade. This innovation made the Bosch GST 135 the most precise jigsaw on the market. On the GST 140, this guide system has evolved even further and now reduces blade deflection and wander by an additional 30%. The new generation precision control system continually self-adjusts the blade position, producing a superbly accurate cut, and Bosch have once again set the standard by which all other jigsaws are measured. The motor is rated at 720 watts and delivers more than enough power for cuts up to 140 millimeters in timber. Constant electronics ensures the speed and power remains the same even under heavy load. The variable speed control allows the stroke rate to be varied to suit the material being cut. The range is 800 to 1300 strokes per minute, so it can be slowed down for cuts in plastic or metal, or increased for work in timber and panels. The stroke length is 26 millimeters. The easy-to-use trigger on the BCE acts as an accelerator. The harder you squeeze it, the faster it goes, up to the maximum speed you set on the variable speed control. Then, no matter how much further you squeeze, the speed remains the same. This accelerator function is perfect when you need a slow and precise start to eliminate miscutting or damaging the work at the start of the cut. A trigger lock is handy for fatigue-free working on long cuts, and both trigger and lock are equally accessible for left-handers. On the CE version, you still have the same variable speed dial on the rear, allowing you to set the maximum speed. But the accelerator trigger has been replaced by a sliding on-off switch. An excellent safety feature is the restart protection on both models. If the power fails during a cut, the saw will not restart when it's restored, even if the trigger is locked in the on position. Both models feature the same quick change SDS blade system. Just push the lever forward, slide in the blade, and the job's done. No tools are required. Even better is that the same lever ejects the blade as well. You don't have to touch it, which is very handy if the blade's still hot, so you can keep working without having to wait for it to cool down. A 4-stage pendulum controls the speed of cut by introducing progressive amounts of orbit. Increase the orbit amount for faster cutting, or reduce the orbit to minimise chipping or tearing on the top surface. This orbit action also allows the blade to move away from the cut on the non-cutting return stroke, so it produces less heat, which prolongs the cutting life of the blade. See what a dramatic difference the orbital action makes to the cutting speed, particularly in thick timber. The rubber grip handles and the smooth running motor ensure minimal vibration. In fact, the GST 140 has a vibration level of just over 6 meters per second squared, which is considerably less than other top quality jigsaws. Some actually vibrate up to 150% more than the GST 140. Weighing just 2.2 kilos, this is one of the lightest pro jigsaws, and it's also a full 1 centimeter shorter than the nearest competitor. The grip on the CE version is just 206 millimeters in diameter, making it the smallest on the market. All these features combine to produce superior ergonomics that make the GST 140 a pleasure to use, even in prolonged cutting situations. The GST 140 also features the fully insulated wraparound grips to conform to the latest regulations. The magnesium die-cast base is immensely strong, and the large surface area adds to the overall stability of the jigsaw in use. A special plastic inlay prevents the base marking the work. The base will tilt up to 45 degrees for angled cuts, but it's spring-loaded to reset at 0 degrees and 45 degrees. And again, no tools are required to make the adjustment. For delicate materials, like a veneered surface, the anti-splinter shoe minimises the risk of chipping on the top surface, even on cross-grain cuts. As you would expect with a Bosch tool, dust extraction is well catered for, with a slip-in extraction tube that locates right at the cutting point. The unique feature of this nozzle is that it's free to rotate from side to side to make it easier to route the extraction pipe well out of the way. If you're not using the nozzle, you can switch on the blower to keep the cutting line clear. But switch this off if you use extraction, and this can be made even more efficient by clipping on the front perspex guard. For cuts in dark or enclosed areas, the GST 140 features an LED lighting system that actually produces enough light for comfortable working. The saw is supplied in an L box, which has plenty of room for the 4-metre cable and the accessory box. There's also a selection of 3 blades, including one of the 308 Extra Clean series that produce perfect chip-free cuts. These L boxes can be combined with a caddy into a fully transportable storage system for all your Bosch tools. The GST 140 is capable of cutting dead straight in a variety of materials, but is equally at ease with curved and circular cuts, internal cutouts and plunge cuts. Fitted with the correct blade from the huge range produced by Bosch, here are just a few of the applications for the GST 140. Proudly made in Switzerland to the legendary Bosch standard, the GST 140 sets the gold standard for precision. Register the tool online within 4 weeks of purchase to increase the warranty to 3 years. And why not join the Bosch online Bob community to get help and feedback from professional users? The Bosch GST 140 Jigsaw.